Okay, hello everyone. Hello everyone. So today we are going to be playing Adopt Me for some time that I have. Um, I got a win yesterday. So you guys know how I tried to someone to take my pig, but then and stuff, and then they left the server. Well, I got my fox first, and I traded for a neon snow owl, you guys. Like, look, let me show you guys. Right here. What a win, you guys. So, I did that, so, now we have my cute neon snow owl. So we're gonna see if I can get any wins. I should have a neon back in storage. I'm in the same server I was in before. Because my friend's in the server. So, let's see. I got like offered three neon. I mean, three legendary, not neon, three legendaries, and a like one fly ride and one tuna potion and a fly like lamb.
I don't know. Okay.
Okay, I don't like joining servers that make me wait. I like joining servers that have a lot of people. Oh, wow. I got in quickly. I was about to zone out. But you guys, let's see.
Well, rain in Seattle is such an unusual thing.
Yeah, I know. It was one. Well, I saw the weather forecast said that it was going to rain. It didn't. But there was a chance that it was going to rain. So,
let's see, you guys. Not this server looking. Okay. The backpack I probably see here is a parrot.
Because it's going to be a lot of ground balls. And if you have a team that bunch, you always cut the grass really low because that way the ball moves faster on the bunch. But Seattle was.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There were more than a few Seattle passes where guys.
Nah, I'm gonna say thanks for your offer, but I'll money face. If there are a strawberry shortcake bat dragon, that's what I want. A strawberry shortcake bat dragon. A blue dog, is good, but I don't think I'll have enough. I don't think I have enough.
I didn't expect anything else from that. I did expect more out of Peck. I thought Peck had a
well, okay, what do we have got here? Lemon unicorn. I'm just gonna say no thanks with my chat because they are under. Up for trade. They have these up for trade. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking to trade this for like.
The stats say that he's actually pretty good whenever it all comes down to things.
Are good.
But I always concern.
I'm gonna say true. Oh, actually, the best pet I see is a neon frost dragon. I'm gonna say trading neon snow owl for another for a ultra rare for mega. I'll just say mega.
They were literally 10 yards from him, and instead he just booted it up the field. And Greg Vanny stood there with like his hands up in the air, and like players were looking around like, what the heck just happened? That ball ended up coming back at the Galaxy pretty quick.
Trading neon snow owl for mega.
What do you make of
I got a warning when I was spamming, so that's why I don't spam anymore. I'm not trying my best not to spam anymore.
He made an amazing save. I thought it was laid out.
Oh, Pirate Ghost, Capuchin Monkey.
Super funny guy. I think wildly popular with his teammates, but, and I mean this in an endearing way, he's kind of goofy. He's really funny, but he's kind of goofy, and you sometimes see that on the field where I don't want to say he takes plays off, but sometimes there's like a lack of focus or concentration, or he thinks he sees something that's not
You
there.
want them to see
So
my
with John McCarthy, you
text?
always have to be prepared for one or two or maybe three moments in the game where he's going to do something inexplicable, and he's not going to. If you talk to him afterwards, he's like either he realizes quickly that he made a mistake, or he's not quite sure what happened on that play, and that's just John McCarthy. You take the good and the bad,
Right.
And I thought he was excellent.
What time is it? It's 8:29.
He has 2 shutouts this year. They're both against Seattle. I don't know what that means. There is going to be some time in goal this year. Greg Vanney said that already. But right now, McCarthy seems like the hot hand. And I do think right now he's an upgrade over Jonathan
Let
Bond.
me see.
I would say the one thing you're not going to see from him is that calming, sort of the Jaime Pinedo presence where nothing's getting through. This guy's a brick wall. Every time the opposing team comes down on offense, you got to look at McCarthy and say, okay, is this one of those moments where he's going to kind of
I hope we get
and that's just John McCarthy. I think
good offer for this.
I think
That one offer was tempting, but
I think McCarthy's a great guy. He's a great clubhouse guy. He's not Stephen
I really wish if they were right, I might have done it. I mean, a pirate Ghost Piercing Monkey.
The Athletic published.
I don't know. It's kind of good. Had it gone down in value.
League Soccer. I would like to point out that of the 29 goalkeepers, minimum 900
I think it had.
on this list, it is John McCarthy who has the highest goals prevented number, and
It was still going strong.
ranked number 5 in the league in shot stoppers. You have some bigger names in terms of Steve Clark and Zach McMath.
We're going to try and
Nashville.
offer.
All very good goalkeepers in there. And it's basically John McCarthy. And who's the Cincinnati keeper? I really can't even read the graphics on this one only because it's so tiny for what it is. But I was just sort of more focused on what Jonathan Bond was, or what John McCarthy was. And I was interested to see how the Galaxy were going to go about that. And how he sort of fit in there. So it's Celentano. That's right.
Mythic Egg.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, very good, right? The whole deal. And so you sort of the goals prevention rate for Celentano is 2.1. McCarthy is at 1.3. So you can sort of look at where those are. But bottom line is they're saying that from where shots were taken and everything, that John McCarthy has been basically the best goalkeeper in goals prevented. This year for the Galaxy. So the numbers seem to like him. I think the distribution argument is certainly a good argument. I think that you look at him and you would hope that the distribution is better. But it's a really interesting one. By the way, the chat room would like me to point out that Hugo Lloris is the 29th best goalkeeper according to the Athletic. Out of 29.
I thought he was a 2-time World Cup champion.
He seems that way. Minus 2.6, I believe. Minus 2.61 in goals prevented. That means he's given 2.6 goals, right? He's allowed in those instead of prevented. So it's definitely an interesting. I'm just waiting. I want to see more numbers. I want to see more Joel.
Okay, well, let's see. We're trying to get
really fun presence. I think he's a fun locker room guy that everybody really likes.
Okay, we're trying. Well, let's see what this person's gonna offer for my
I know that
Neon Snow Owl.
pull up different things. Oh, this player doesn't like this person, and that, I don't think that's the case in most of this team. I believe they actually like each other, which is something that I think comes in championship teams. You don't have to have it, but I think more often than not, you find out who really enjoy playing with each
Okay,
other.
we're gonna also be looking at values, you guys.
You get to the level of professional sports, you're like, oh no, this is a good locker room. For the most part, I think it's a pretty good locker room. So I think John McCarthy is a big reason for that.
I don't-
Is probably a big reason for that. There's some other guys you can probably. Eric Savaleta is probably a big reason for that. Diego Fagundes is probably a big reason for that. I'm trying to think of who else I could sort of pull out as the leaders on the team. Gaston Bergman.
Okay, I have a Neon Snow. Okay.
Well, McCarthy is. We talk about him again. He's one of those guys where I think when the ball goes past the back line, everyone turns around to see where McCarthy is and what he's doing. Is he focused? But I mean, he's the perfect guy for this team because at times that front line or the back line rather, right in front of him, those guys are speaking 3 different languages, and McCarthy has to work with them as the goalkeeper, and he's just one of those guys that's
I don't really.
and Again, on one hand, that's just who he is, and that's just part of the mix. And at times, it's really good because lets that stuff go. At times, it's like you wish your goalkeeper was a little bit more steady, but that's who he is, and it's working. He's got 2 shutouts.
But so for me, and I go and look at this game, Kevin. For me, I think the point was a well-earned point. I thought the Galaxy were tactically savvy. I thought that they were understanding of the situation that they were in. I think they understood the stadium that they were in, and quite honestly, they were in a position to steal points. And when you are playing with down 4 guys and you don't have all your starters and you're on the road against somebody like Seattle, who usually plays very well in Seattle, maybe not this year, but I mean, you still have to count the Seattle team as pretty good. In my mind, they're going to be an okay team. I saw them play against Philadelphia. I saw them the DC game, even though they lost. There was the red card in there with Stephen Fry and that type of thing, right? That eventually got overturned because it wasn't a red card. It's funny how that happens so often in soccer games now. You'd think with VAR they wouldn't be so stupid, but hey, it seems to be happening still. But you go and watch the Seattle team. I think for the position they're in, they're happy to get the point. Greg Vanney certainly was content with the point. Yeah, I think that they would have liked to create some more chances, but I think he was like, get out of here. Get out of here with this point. Get out of here off this field that was difficult to play in. Get out of here down 4 starters. And for my mind, you went from a team that looked...
So they have a Robin, which is Neon, then 2 Robins. I kind of like this offer. The thing is, what I'm trying to look for is
I didn't see that in the Seattle game.
how people are going to offer for them.
It was boring for, I think, people watching, but in terms of a tactical chess match type of thing, I think it played out probably the way that Greg Vanney sort of wanted against Brian Schmetzer. And I think Brian Schmetzer was upset that Seattle didn't capitalize on a couple of the good chances they had.
Well, I think he's looking at this from the fact that he needs 3 points. He's at home against a team that hasn't won there since 2016. A team missing 4 starters. Yep. That is, it's almost like that's a game Seattle has to win.
And they didn't. And the Galaxy
Select.
To get points.
And then they have a
11 points.
Woodley.
3-2-2 on their road trip so far. The 11 points is tied for the 3rd best road record in Major League Soccer. Right now, the best road team, Cincinnati, with 13 points. Minnesota with 12 points. And then Real Salt Lake, who is the LA Galaxy's opponent coming up this weekend. And the LA Galaxy have 11 points, along with Colorado has 11 points, interesting, from those road games. So tied for 3rd with the best record in Major League Soccer on the road. The funny thing is, though, Kevin, I keep expecting the Galaxy to have this long homestand because they've been playing so many games on the road, and it doesn't seem like it ever pops up or comes back or nothing. If we look at the schedule right now, the LA Galaxy home to Real Salt Lake coming up on Saturday, May 11th. That's the day before Mother's Day. Just reminding everybody, in case you forgot, still have some time.
Hey, Jalen and Neil bobblehead for Mother's Day would be.
That's what my wife is getting. I'm sure Mrs. Panda's getting the same. The LA Galaxy RSL. Then the Galaxy, by the way, number 1 in the Western Conference, Real Salt Lake right now. We've been talking about them.
I don't know.
Chicho Arango has been playing very, very, very well. The Galaxy will host Real Salt Lake, who has a very good road.
Guys, I don't know.
So that's going to be quite the team that is currently above the LA Galaxy. In the Western Conference as well, Minnesota. The Galaxy go away to Minnesota on a Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast, right? And so
I get it.
Yeah, so if you think about it, the number 3 and number 1 team in the Western Conference are playing each other.
I get it.
On Saturday, and then as it stands right now, the number 3 and number 2 team in the Western Conference will play each other midweek of that at Allianz Field. So that's the lineup. Then the Galaxy have to go all the way over to Charlotte.
I got an
To
overpay.
play I think a much improved Charlotte FC team that is it's currently in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. So that's not easy. And then finally they get a 2-game homestand, Kevin. But by God, they've been playing almost every game on the road, so the 2 games doesn't even feel like it's long enough. But 2 home games against Houston and against Dallas to close out May. The Galaxy will go on the road to Chicago in June, then home again, very close to each other, Kansas City and New York City, home game, coming up to the Galaxy in June.